And we're back. I got that from Scott.
Really?
Sure. I mean, he and I had pretty much the same, personality. Anyway, go on. Hi.
Hi.
What's up?
Nothing.
Really? Questions?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. You didn't put who said this one.
Okay, so apparently this first question is from somebody whose name I forgot to record. I'm sorry.
Series. Oh, well, this is from Mail Call 200, I guess. Series set in our future.
No. That's me. That's me. That was an idea I had. That's me, honey.
It's me, man.
That is me, man. You don't need to read that. It was just the first note I could get open, so I didn't lose the...
He was talking about space and hippos.
Oh, I was just, thinking about different stuff. Humans, I'm assuming, are always going to have cats and dogs. Fine, if we, live through this period in our history, we're going to still have cats and dogs. And at some point, somebody's going to say, you know what? What if we made them really smart? And I know, Rick and Morty had, lawnmower dog, but I will tell you, what if we made them super smart?
Cats don't want to be smart.
And if they were, they wouldn't do anything differently anyway.
Okay, so now we have a person's name. Cheyenne182. Hey, Spencer and Sabrina. Just resubmitting these questions for next mail call.
We got you, man.
Yeah. I acquired a used SZC005, also known as the third generation Seiko Monster in Jade.
Hang on. Let me find a picture and I'll put that in. Wasn't that great?
Everything looked to be original and in almost new condition except for the minute hand, which seemed to be scratched or gunky on its surface near the canyon pinion. Is it possible for me to get the minute hand polished or cleaned, or is it better for me to replace it altogether?
The plating's really thin. It's super easy to scratch. Those are there because probably somebody else pulled the hands off for whatever reason. There's nothing you can do to a set of scratched hands that won't make it worse, except cleaning it in a no-touch way. You don't want to touch those surfaces if you can possibly avoid it. If it really bugs you, you find an NOS set, and when you pull the hands off and put the hands on, use like a really thin piece of plastic bag or something, and when you're seating it down, so you have the layer of fresh, clean, beautiful plastic, or better yet, protective film. And so when you're pressing down, you're not pressing down on the surface, the actual metal surface. And you do that, and it'll really save you, because those hands will mark real quick.
Okay, and the next part of their question. My second question is, what is your opinion on the Seiko Monster line? It's one of my favorite Seiko models, and I don't believe I have ever heard your thoughts on them.
I swear I answered that question.
No, people have actually asked it.
Have they really? Well, I'm probably going to give almost a verbatim answer the last time which is fine, cool. But if you're bored, I apologize. They are aesthetically, I think of them as being kind of a brutalist design. I mean, it's above industrial. It's sort of the conscious style choices were chosen to give it this sort of aggressive, blocky look, which is, I like, really out there wild design as much as the next person. Asked me about a yellow Aztec with the camper kit, but thanks to her, it's not my style. I've owned a couple, not that particular one. Actually, I only owned a Gen 1, I think. I looked at it and it was well made, and I understood what it was. It's kind of a quasi tuna almost, because you have a protective shroud of sorts, but it's integrated with the case. I don't know, just not my thing. Right now I'm into, I guess, what I've always been into. Brightly colored speed timers and...
Yeah, but you've been more well, no, actually, you're back in diver land. You were wearing dress watches for a while.
When I put this thing together, I was like, well, I really didn't mean to build this, because I really...
Accidental.
Well, no, I had it apart. I had a 6309 movement serviced. It was right there. I had it in another project, and then I decided it didn't work for me aesthetically, and so it was sitting there, and I'm like, that movement is freshly rebuilt. This movement is in pieces in the cleaner, And so I can go whoop, 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 and put it together, and there it is. So I felt an obligation to this watch to wear it. I didn't want to just build a Frankenstein and then put it in the drawer.
Speedy Paul 2314. Hi SNS. Question for next mail call. Seiko 7017 6040 chronograph. Inner 0 to 60 bezel, which operates via the crown. Is it meant to lock into position once set?
I know I've answered that question. I know
Oh, you did.
I know I answered that question.
So I did not get the Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. Actually, I haven't been wearing this all week. I just wanted to grab something different. Though
Why?
I may have worn it. Well, I don't know. They've seen the panda every other time they saw me. So why don't I show them this? Because we were talking about these Vietnam watches. So I was like, hey, look, there it is.
Yeah, there's a company who is making a new interesting interpretation of it, and I'm hoping to have one here soon so I can review it. We'll see. Anyway, but this is the fourth, the 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the fourth iteration with that dial. It's a 6106, not a 6119, not a 6619, certainly not a 7005. But this is, people said for a long time, and they still say it, oh, this wasn't a Mac V. And that's because we don't have any photographic evidence of it.
Really?
Yeah, well, no, we have photographic evidence for the 7005. I'm the one that discovered that, and I was looking through that book, and there was the picture. And I'm like, hey, I know that watch. Because I own one, 6619. I don't know, this is the fourth, but I got a message from a guy who said that his dad was in Vietnam in Special Forces and had been issued one. But unfortunately, I don't have the guy's contact name or anything, so I can't really verify that. So, you know, your mileage may vary. I've been working on 3 watches. I've just been poking around. The movement for the 7548, I still have to finish rebuilding it. And coincidentally, I happen to have a 6309 on my bench that had been serviced that didn't belong to anyone except me. So I was like, I've never done this model, I'll do it. And I can undo it in a second when I'm done doing that movement rebuild. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, what I did was I made a 6309 SKX 007. Well, that's if the 007 was made in 1985, this is what it would look like, minus quartz on the dial. But that's it. So there you go.
Is the bezel blue or black? On the camera, it looks black. When I'm looking underneath, it looks blue.
I'm finding I got a big batch of inserts from Japan, and a lot of them, early ones, have that blue cast. Yes, this is like a midnight blue, because you can see the thing blue, flash blue just a little bit. It's subtle. I wish the handling was cleaner. I've already cleaned it. I mean, if I wanted to, I could push it further, but I'm not going to. We'll see how it goes. Oh, and for fun, to really fill out the 1980 vibe, it's on a Z199, a genuine one. Anyway, so there you go. The 80s called and said they have an SKX 007. So we figured it out. We started this video reading questions, but it's been so long since we've done mail call, we forgot that those questions were ones we've already answered. So I'm actually going to include that as an outtake all the way at the end. If you want to see how my answers match up from one to the next, there you go.
Okay. So we're going to be, he hasn't looked at these questions. I'm on his YouTube right now.
Oh, we didn't explain.
What?
We haven't not done Friday videos for any reason. We just have been, there's so much else going on and we haven't prioritized
Well,
it.
and also, you know, people shouldn't, if they don't have to force themselves to do something, then they shouldn't.
Yeah, we've had just a lot of stuff going. The last couple of weeks have been kind of wacky.
Okay, so.
She's going to be just picking and choosing and reading them live.
Okay, so.
And we're back.
Yes, okay, so from a month ago.
A month ago. Sorry, folks.
A video on about a 6105-8110 restoration.
Okay.
Person Branch Schaefer 9733. Thanks for keeping in all the time grapher video. Everyone else on YouTube makes it look so easy to adjust. I can't believe people. It's not easy.
If you hear something disgusting, it's me pouring tea. There you go. I don't know. I mean, people do all this editing videos. They want to make themselves look competent, which I understand, but they also want to shorten the video, which I certainly understand. Vice Grip Garage does that all the time. He does a lot of editing though. The problem is, okay, I'm making a video, right? And those chunks you're seeing of time grapher stuff, that's only a small part of it. Sometimes it can really fight you. If there's anything funky with the hairspring, you can start getting things where you adjust it to lose some time or gain some time, and it changes some position in the hairspring where there might be a kink, and all of a sudden it goes, or it starts dropping or rising, and then you're like, okay, it's too, and you try to pull it back, and then it unkinks, and then the rate drops a ton. Sometimes it can just fight you, especially ones that have been serviced before, like the adjusting arms. If anybody's been in there and they've really been leaning on them this way or pulling them up when they're trying to do it, it's supposed to be perfectly flat when you're doing that. You don't want to push down, you don't want to push up. And you got to adjust that stuff, and it can really get funky. But point being, I have to concentrate on doing that. I don't want to be sitting there and stopping the camera and starting and stopping the camera. I just go for it. And editing after the fact, nobody got time for that. Nobody's got time for that.
No. Sorry. 78487000 video.
Okay.
From John Zaria 5989. Hi Spencer, great video. I have the exact model, but the moon made a minute arm for the chronograph aren't functional. Is this a common issue? How can I fix it?
So this gentleman has a Seiko 7A487,000. This is the moon phase it's the main moon phase model from the 7A analog quartz chronographs, the very first quartz chronographs ever made. Seiko did it. What you're talking about is really normal. The thing with a 7A, they're super overbuilt. You know, they have 15 joules. I can't imagine there's any way to wear one out. I don't know how it'd be possible. They're so insanely over-engineered. What'll kill them is a battery leak or water inside, or physical damage, of course. When they do start to complain and moan, it's because they just need cleaning, period. That's it. I've never had a 7A movement that was clean, like not rusted. Like if it had rust, that's another piece of business, or damage to the circuit from an acid leak. If they've been in good condition, never, not once, no matter how sticky they were, when I was done, did they not just clean and snappy? It's amazing. You think your 7A is nice, it's all good and everything. And then you go through and you service it and you realize like how much cleaner and snappier everything is. They really deserve and can benefit from a service. Hi, what's up?
Next one. It's for reference, Seiko 6309729B, rarest of all the 6309s. From Josh S3916. Got this exact model from my father, who wore it diving in the 80s. Quick question: how did you know the date of manufacture?
The way the dates work for Seiko is actually it's half a pain in the butt and half of it is easy. The first number is the month. The second number is the year. Exceptions being October, November, December. So you look at it and it says, it says 19, okay? Say the model in question is Colonel William Pogue's own Pogue. It was a serial number started with 19. That means it was made in September 1971. And that's how it goes. And if you're on a month, it'll go, O-N-D. October, November, December.
Let's see.
It's okay. It's giving me time to drink my tea. I can tell an MG story.
Somebody said that Fulton said that the plans for the interior sound that they will look well.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's really cool. So my MG sat in the woods for coming on 40 years. 40 years, imagine that. Oh, it's really 36. And everything I touched needed to be touched. I haven't yet Well, until this, I had not yet found anything that even approached serviceable, never mind new. I pulled the engine, I separated the engine and the transmission. The clutch, brand new. It's dated February 16th, 1982. The car was parked and abandoned in 1983. Look at the, it's amazing. Look at the clutch plate. Look at this thing. So I'm going to put it in.
1983 was not 36 years ago.
Well, no, when I bought the car.
You bought the car in 2019.
Did I buy it in 2019? Oh, I was getting confused with 2016. Well, in any case, it sat in the woods. So how long did it sit in the woods for?
Well, was it 1987?
It was no, it was 1983.
Well, if I'm 36,
I don't know what to tell you.
in 1983,
I know, but
ends with the same number as the current year.
so it's about 40 years now, I guess. Everything for me, the time for the clock, the car starts when I got it. Since Sabrina isn't here to stop me, this is a Parts Telly that, you know, I've been working on and off for years. It's a genuine American-made Fender neck. Genuine Fender noiseless, genuine Fender noiseless. This is custom made, but it's nice. It's got all cloth wrap cord and everything. The body is from an SX, but it's a fine body, and I like it. Any case, I hated the color. It was this weird, like, baby poop green. It was supposed to originally be, by copying the Fender color, sort of a caramel, and it came out looking pretty sickly. I hated it. So I stripped the body to wood, and I handed it over to Sabrina, who likes doodling in front of the TV, and she doodled that. I put on a clear pick guard, so, you know, we could see everything, but yeah, so she would doodle and mess around with this, and isn't that cool? Isn't that cool?
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You weren't here, and I was like, well, I might as well talk about something.
I had to make a sandwich, but not for myself.
I love, actually, the stuff under the pick guard. You did a different color, and with the black outline I put on it, you can actually really see it much more from beyond, because the sort of cumulative color is different in both the places. Anyway, here, I'll hand you this. Oh wait, your hands are full. So I've got to solder the electronics. I got to solder the electronics and then check the neck, and and then I have to put the ferrules back in the back of the back of it for the strings, and that's got to be done. Then I'm gonna have to you know, shim the neck and intonation and all that crap. But it'll be fun. I'll set it up and it'll be nice. I think it looks really good. I love the subtle color change from outside to underneath the pick guard. Pick guard was clear. It's not Fender. I found it on eBay. I think it was like $8.
Your finger.
Oh, oops. There we go.
There we go. Where are we?
Colorado.
Hey, I wore this shirt the last time we did one of these things.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Sidewalk Astronomy Netherlands. German watches are fun. Just look at what the day indicator says on Tuesday.
Die. D-I-E. Oh. But that's not as good as Friday in Brazil, because Portuguese is sex. S-E-X. It's off, you know, every Friday. It's party time. Time for sex. Once a week, honey. That's you know, really putting the screws to it. Hey, there's Corgi.
Really?
Yeah, he's behind the bush. There he is.
Look at his butt.
I didn't know this. Once a year, every year in the summer, there's like a Corgi-thon in Old Town.
Yeah, I always accidentally go into Old Town when the Corgi like march or whatever, and everybody that owns a Corgi is there and they dress the Corgi up as whatever.
It's like Tour de Fat from New Belgium Brewery, except it's Tour de Corgi or something.
No, it's not.
No, it's something like that. It's somehow related to that somehow.
Digging through the bracelet box, hunting for Stelux.
Yes.
John Taylor 3940. The one with the logo in a ring looks like a Certina strap.
Really? Really? So the logo in a ring, what it looks like is like a ribbon, and it's going over and around, and as the ribbon comes down over the outside of the oval, it's an arrow. Certina, really. I'll have to look that up. I'd be very curious because I've seen that mark a few times. Not often, but a few times, and almost always very early. I have one strap that has it, one leather strap.
Then from last week, mail call from Sugar Tits. I really need that bracelet on the one on your wrist, but I don't know what you were wearing.
I don't either. What video is it?
Oh, it's from mail call.
It is. Well, why don't you go to mail call and look at the wrist check, because I don't remember. Whoa.
Wait, how do I?
Technology.
Hey, I was wearing this watch last time too.
You were? You wanted to wear something different?
I didn't.
Oh, it's the 7580 69 or something like that. It's the super wide Stelux super taper H-Link. Yeah, they're cool. Do you have that watch? Do you need a bracelet for that watch? So let me know.
Hang on, I lost my spot.
Happens to you all the time with the dog. He steals her seat wherever she is. He sort of waits and looks mournful until she moves or gives it up.
What? Jeez.
Well, no, because you're in the one video. You're.
No, I accidentally went to one video.
Right, and so go back.
I did.
Okay,
See?
go forward.
That's where I was, and now I have to go all the way to the beginning again.
No, you don't. We'll figure it out, folks. With technology, we'll be getting there. We'll be figuring it out. Here, hang on. Let me. I had an addendum to my clutch thing about it being brand new. So I split the transmission and the engine, and I looked in there, and the first thing I saw was this strip of yellow. It's the sticker that says remanufactured that was hanging off the flywheel. It was just hanging on as the engine was running, and it's not even dirty. I don't even know how long this thing, how many feet the guy got out of this rebuilt, engine or transmission or clutch or whatever before something failed.
Call from Saul Brook.
Hello, Mr. Brook.
If they did a 6139, 6,000, whatever the frig, that was me, not him.
Oh, whenever you read a question, can you thumbs up it?
Oh.
I thumbs up every comment that everybody makes. I go through, and everybody who makes a comment, even people who point out, usually correctly, that I've made a mistake.
90 million. Okay, they did a reissue of some sort and nailed it the way they did with the SRPK 017, and it was a mecha quartz for under $450. I would be happy. Not that I need it, as I do have two cracking 6005s. That said, we are dreaming it will miss the mark, be really expensive using whatever the heck mechanical chronos they make these days.
Yeah, no, I don't even. They're going to go. I bet you if they made an attempt, they probably would go Mecha Quartz. I could see them doing it. I could see them doing a Mecha Quartz general release for a price, and then a limited edition chronograph one, which, judging by the, the reissue Super Chronograph Panda, it was a 3-dial. They didn't get that right, and they called it a Panda. So I don't know how close they'd get it. But, if they had that, it would be priced way too high. And that's fine. But if they got the look right and it was Mecha Quartz, I could buy it. And it has that smooth sweep tech that they use now. If they could duplicate that, including using a mechanical... No, you wouldn't have to. You could go fly-by-wire just like a 7A. You wouldn't need a mechanical thing to click that over. Yeah, just do fly-by-wire. What am I thinking? What the hell am I thinking?
From the mail call, let's see, from Connor Whitworth.
Hello, Mr. Whitworth.
Of course, you can wear an unserviced watch. You shouldn't, but you can.
It's what Sadie. It's like what Sadie said the other night.
But which?
What?
She says lots.
Everything is edible at least once.
Yes. Hang on. Okay, well, from Connor Whitworth again.
Hello, Mr. Whitworth.
Maybe Seiko will do what they have done with the various 62 MAS releases. Start with an expensive LE limited edition, and then further along the line produce a cheaper mass-produced version. Their recent reissue quartz speed timers were okay, but nowhere near the quality of the 60s and 70s models. A lot of people have moaned over the years about the prices of the reissue SLA range of watches, but the quality is there, almost Grand Seiko level, almost. It's a very convoluted and odd way of releasing reissue watches. It muddies the water, trying to cater for both non-watch people and watch nerds. Perhaps that makes a lot of their modern watches more appealing to non-watch people. Other brands seem to be more than capable of producing exact one-to-one reissues. No problem. Perhaps we need a new Diney and Sua situation competing with one another, and the outcome being that the consumer wins. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why.
Nice.
It's strange. They don't. And this isn't me being petulant, I don't think, or anything else like this. It seems so odd. It really does. It's actually it's not concerning, but it's really bewildering. They have this incredible, IP. They have all of these designs, which are beautiful, all these designs that I mostly work with, and they originated from Seiko, and they were unique enough then that they're still unique today. And that everybody knows the things that made them beautiful and unique, there they are. Seiko won't do a one-to-one reissue. They won't do it. Why? There's a reason. Somebody's making a choice. There is a reason. And I don't know what that reason is. I can't think of an exception. I can't. I have nothing ever seen one-to-one from Seiko like at all. I mean, even to the level of like a Submariner, right? Okay, fine. A lot of the things will change, and maybe they change the movement over time, but the essential watch and the look is the same. Seiko could have done that with like the Marine Master, which by the way is a great example of what you were talking about, coming out with an expensive limited edition first. That was the year 2000 collection, and then they had the general release, the SBDX 001. So anyway.
From Jeff1176.
Hello.
Is or was there a bracelet offered for the 6218 8000 Seiko-matic?
I don't believe so. I keep looking for them, but I don't believe so. Every picture I've seen in the catalogs that we've gone through recently, it always has a strap. I believe I've seen black alligator pattern, but I might misremember that. I wish, honestly, I really do, because that case is crying out for the right bracelet, but I don't know what the right bracelet is. I've been trying. I haven't found one yet.
From True Blue Miata. The Seiko Bespoke 8R28 contemporary chronograph movement could, I think, be used to make good 6139 and passable 6138 reproductions by rotating the chrono module. The main challenge is that it's a tall movement, but hopefully that could be managed with careful design.
Hopefully. Seiko has already shown that they'll work with module chronographs, and that's where you take a standard movement, regular, and then you basically put up this really thin, like extra plate, multi-component plate on the top, and all of the chronograph functions are contained in this tiny thin thing. Omega does the same thing, because all you're doing is you're just pulling power off the train. That's all you're doing, and then you're transferring it to this complex system. That, I think, would mean that they could, in theory, take up a 7S or a 4R or a 6R and give it the correct dial and everything along with
Not my kids screaming for once.
Yeah, those are the kids of the neighbors' kids. They always do this. They have a trampoline. They bounce around up there. You could do that, and then you'd have a three-hander chronograph on a standard mechanical movement, which is how those 8Ls are done anyway. The one thing is, oh, another thing too, if it's 6139, we won't have to worry about the crown position because it's at 3.
Okay, from Patrick Crees. You mentioned a 2000 limited number SRPK17 that has the dial without made in Japan between 6 and 7. This further confuses me. I was thinking all those above a certain number would be an international version without the made in Japan, but you have the 4000 number that is a made in Japan version. I have a 200 number kanji and a 1400 number that is French, both with the made in Japan dial and case back. I think it is a very well done reincarnation.
Yeah, it is a well done reincarnation. It's the reissue of that Sport Diver.
Right, and then it was multiple parts, and I read it as one giant thing. So.
No, that's okay. About the dial variants on those, I haven't really, as near as I can tell from what people are telling me, and based on what information I have, the only difference between the North American version and the JDM version is the day wheel, and that the day wheel makes it a different model. World, like Europe and stuff, they seem to be getting the one that doesn't say made in Japan. I don't.
Oh no, there it goes. You lost your bread.
The dog stole my bread. Gently and quietly. He just came up in it because I put it on the footstool here. He just came up and gently took it in his mouth. And he didn't eat it. He just... And he left. And he left, and he's eating it now. Like a gentleman.
Yes.
So I don't know as much about those as I should. Although I do have something to say about those watches. The crystal's driving me insane. I can't even... I love the watch, but I cannot enjoy it because the crystal's wrong. Or I think it's wrong. The dial is too... It's not that the dial is too far down. It's that the chapter ring is way too tall. It's driving me crazy. It makes the dial look flat. Like it's... Like the dial and the hands are printed. They're too flat. There's no... The 3D-ition of them is not there. So I am going to pull that crystal. I got a generic crystal. And I'm going to pop that. I'll make a video. And we'll see together if that looks any better. Because I tell you, right now, I can't wear it the way it is. I can't wear it. All I see is the height of that, chrome bezel face. And it's like the uncanny valley. That's what it is. There's just something so subtly wrong with it.
I don't know. I was thinking about the dog and bread, and that I hid my bread. I'm so sorry, I wasn't really listening. But also because I don't know which watch it is. Sorry.
Oh, this is the reissue of that 70-meter Sport Diver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, next video. This was from a Rolex versus Seiko video. From Clark3830. The first bead for rarity is actually a wrong deal. Rolex makes more Daytonas than the MM300 Marine Master. Loom Seiko beats everyone. Legacy is also a Seiko equal with the Captain Willard. I wore one in Vietnam flying FCDs. I don't know what that... How do I pronounce that correctly?
FC/D. So he was flying a plane called an F-C.
Oh, okay. And bought a new version for my younger brother recently.
No kidding. No kidding. That's the thing, though. I mean, I'm glad... I guess I'm glad Seiko's bringing them back, but they're bringing back this bewildering array of them. And none of them are forever. It's not like they made the SKX007, the successor to this imaginary model. They made those for 19 years. They could have, if they were still making them today, just as they were, they would still be selling them. I absolutely guarantee you. And they could have done that with any of their legacy watches, but... the SKX007 is a great one.
I feel like all our videos now are complaining about reissues.
Well, that's because Seiko's trying to become something else. They don't want to... I'm not exactly sure what. They're trying to re-embrace their design heritage. I don't know why they are choosing to not get it right. I have, I mean, but this new Sport Diver, that's a lot closer. They got some things perfect. That hour and minute hands are perfect. Dial colors are great. Casework is sloppy, which it really shocks me that the casework is kind of sloppy. It looks like somebody refinished it. I mean, but it's still a good watch. I'm not sold on the bracelet like 100%, like at all. It's just, I hate stiff, hard bracelets. Makes me feel like I'm having trouble breathing. Okay, let's rock on.
Now we're back to mail call.
Hooray.
Kev the Windsurfer. Love the mail call videos. They never disappoint. I like
Really?
the random nature and path they take. I'm reading this one because honestly, this is the entire day. Like when in the entire house, all of us will be like doing something, and then it's like, and then we're doing like talking about something else, and then it's back to the other.
Yeah, we all have the same kind of wiring, and like we have the same kind of wiring. So the way we exist is, this isn't an act. This is literally how we are. And our kids fit into this perfectly. They have the same kind of personalities and everything else like that. So this is what it is, man. This is what it is. Hi, doggy.
Let's
Rocket, I'm not scratching your butt anymore.
Since I know you can pause or whatever and cut things, I'm taking
Oh, I don't
my
care.
time.
Oh, take your time.
Well, there's a lot of questions.
There are a lot of questions. Any case, so what do you guys think? It's brand new. It was just made 41 years ago. What would you do? Because apparently this is the strong one. It's the riveted one, not the bonded one. I have no idea why this guy would have installed a brand new clutch and then said, and it just didn't work. The only thing I saw, you can see from the sticker and everything else like that I don't know that new clutch wasn't in there for very long. Like really wasn't for very, very long. Inside the bell housing around that propeller shaft, though, the entire back and the inside of that bell housing is pretty thick with some oil. Not like super, super crazy oily, like you've got a major, major leak, but it's a solid covering. And I don't know, maybe he had he did all this work, had all this crap done. Maybe he opted not to get the oil seals on that one done. I'm just making up stories. And he's driving it around, and then the transmission starts leaking from the front, and he's like, well, you know what? I'll deal with that later. And later was 36 years. And he still didn't deal with it. I am dealing with it.
Okay. This is a video is Seiko SRPK17 versus a JDM SBSA 225. Do you remember this video?
Let me read it.
It's that one.
Where have you been all my life? SBDX.
No, it was this one.
No, you had some model numbers you were...
Yeah, I was saying it's this
Oh, that's the video! Oh. This is, again, around the two versions of the Sport Diver.
Okay.
Of the new Sport Diver, Japan
I
are
wanted you to know
here.
what I was talking about.
I never listen as I should. Wasn't that a good save?
Griff Kill. Glad I saw this video. I live in Ireland and these watches are impossible to get anywhere in Europe. They all sold out. I had to buy one from America and it cost me a lot more with taxes and shipping though. I just checked it and it is made in Japan, which I am happy about, to be honest, and made in Japan are more sought after.
Yeah, it's... I
What?
I don't hate to admit it, but I have to admit it. I have that snob label thing. I try to beat it, I really do. But I prefer made in Japan too, and that's just, there's nothing to it. There's nothing to it.
I want to get doggy in.
Oh, okay. Well, here, get get the hound in. Unrelease the hound.
Yes.
Let's see now. This is a comment from Matt Morris 481. The Seiko on my video, the Seiko 6309 7040, all three variants. I have a non-Sua. Last year they made the 6309 and I forgot what the last year was. Anyway, the non-Sua I have has been going for at least 36 years and has never been open. and I still and I still compare it, and I still can wear it, so the non-Sua must be just as good or better than the Sua. I have said it for many years. Not that that makes it right, but I've said it because I haven't yet found something to disprove this claim. I swear there is just...
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at other questions.
Oh, no, that's fine. I swear the non-Sua movements, when they had the new plant in Hong Kong before Singapore, I have always gotten excellent numbers out of those, better than the Sua movements. I don't know why. Maybe the plant was brand new. Maybe the lubricating robots were brand new. That'd be a relief, wouldn't it? I don't know. But yeah, those non-Sua movements, I can usually depend on those to give me some better numbers. What'd you find?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, somebody, Elijah Woods 3399 on the trailer.
Oh,
Do you purchase vintage Seikos?
I, in fact, do purchase vintage Seikos. We buy single watches. We buy whole collections. So if you have, you're running in a space in your hope chest, at the foot of your bed for watches, because that thing can only take 800 of them. Maybe you want to clear it out, lighten the load. Lighten the load. Declutter. Sell me some watches. Tell me what you got. Show me pictures of what you got. Tell me what you're asking for, what you think. I'm not much of a haggler, at all. So pretty much just write me and say, hey, I'm looking to sell this stuff. This is what I'm looking to get. And I'll either be able to do it or I won't. But that's the way it is. I'm not going to sit there and kind of try to work you over to get prices down. I don't like working that way. It's dishonest and manipulative, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, one time, I may have told this story at some point, but there's always new people. I was at his mother's house and she was watching some show on HGTV of people they were buying something like a car or something from a house from a very elderly lady, and they were being nice and whatever, and they ended up screwing her over, and then once they were gone, they were kind of like, yeah, I got a good price on that. And ever since I saw that, and that was a long time ago, I'm pretty serious about not doing that. I don't care if that's not a good salesman thing. I don't like when people are dishonest like that. It's just really crappy. If somebody is like, yeah, I want 10 grand for this 007, then that's not gonna happen.
No.
But if it's something, we're not going to try and screw you over. It goes against all of my morals.
I don't think I ever told you this. It was probably a couple of years ago now, but some lady wrote me, and she had her husband's, it was her husband's Rolex GMT, which of course is everybody out in television land is freaking out. But I just, it would be such a thing to do. So I was like, I'm not the person that you need to talk to. And at the time I couldn't buy it anyway for what I told her it was probably actually worth. And I just, it's cruel, and it's to do to somebody. And frankly, I know it's not right because I wouldn't want the news to get out. That's how I know it's not right. If I need to feel the need to hide something, there's a reason. So I don't hide things.
Yeah. So I just wanted to get that out there, that we are not out to screw people, because that's not cool.
Was there anything good in the mail?
I don't know.
Oh,
I've been sitting here the whole time.
I thought you got up and did something.
I've been sitting here. Okay, so this next batch is from the Time Grapher video, and I'm not sure what people are talking about, so I am going to just read things, and hopefully you remember.
I hope I remember. That's my mantra every single day.
Apparently, you said good enough for the girls we date.
I did indeed.
Okay.
Oh, nothing. It's just good enough for government work. It's like you've got it set. You could maybe get it, if you really leaned into it, you might be able to get it better. And you're like, it's good enough. And you put some self-deprecation in it. Good enough for the girls we date.
From Sven Huguenots. Hi Spencer, I'm very interested in the frost finishing. What kind of medium did you use with the shrouds?
It's just all I did. We're just doing basic rock grinding. We got, I forget the name of the model, though actually the manual, honey, is up with all the other manuals right there. But we get grinding medium from Polyplastics, and the way that that works is it has four grits. It has, you know, coarse grit, and then it has fine coarse grit, and then it has pre-polish and polish, and then after that there's a number of different media you can use to sort of try to get it even shinier. There was no real thought in what I did. It was the first state. I was doing the coarse, the number 1, which grinds down all the, you know, pointy things, and I just threw it in there overnight. And in fact, I probably could have put it in for a full day. I don't need to, but I think I'm going to pull the shroud off and run it another overnight. But the rocks are just all standard gravel size, and you got the grinding stuff in there, and you throw it in, and there it goes. It works. It works. The one thing is that I have noticed that if an area is like hidden or shadowed or dipped in at all, you have a good chance that that's not going to get as sharp. And sometimes in a really deep area, it'll still be high polish. I could try to, like, you know, really get rid of that and just leave it in for longer, but I don't, believe me, you can't put the stuff back on, so I try to restrain myself. What are you thinking, lady?
Well, let's see. My job is to read through questions to read to you, so I'm thinking.
It's my job. It's a stupid job. That's from Galaxy Quest, honey.
I haven't seen that since it came out.
Sigourney Weaver. She's like, this is my job. It's a stupid job. I don't remember the exact quote, but it was funny.
Okay, from Dodgy Druid. Hopefully you understand what he's talking about. We're still in Time Grapher land. I used for some time a strange 3D printed box off eBay, which I hooked up to my PC and using TG 5.0 found quite useful to regulate, but then it broke and I bought a 1000, and okay, the 1000 lacks the oral graph TG has, which means you can get of movement really into beat by matching the dwell, etc. I have done quite well with the old Reissue since. I am in the process of making a Reissue mic adapter to hook up to my PC, very cheap to make and quite robust too, so it means that I can TG whenever I want to, but will just use the Reissue as it is a damned find machine.
That's interesting. That's interesting. I have to look at mine because I have the 1000 or whatever the heck it is, or the 6,000. Whatever. Maybe it's over 9,000. I don't know. That'd be interesting if it could be hooked into a computer. I wonder if there'd be a way then to get finer controls on it to understand more. Well, I mean, right now it's working fine for me, but I'd be curious to know how you did.
From Salty Crabs. I've been wanting to test and see how well a cheap $30 sandblaster from Harbor Freight would do soda blasting a watch case, but am unsure if the PSI of my air compressor is high enough to allow for a nice uniform finish. I know they do a great job removing rust off parts for restoring cars.
The great thing, the only reason I know about this, because I've never done it, okay? I am regurgitating things that Jonathan Koch told me. Nice thing about going baking soda is it actually doesn't take a whole lot off. I mean, it'll mark the surface, but it doesn't eat into it. I mean, like, I'm putting watch parts and shrouds into, a tumbling container filled with rocks and grinding compound, and I'm getting a pretty smooth surface. I don't think there's any way with something like, baking soda that you can do anything more than make it frosty. I don't think it's going to get, at a certain point, it's not going to be any more frosty. But I don't think you need to worry about, really leaning into it. The only thing I know about, if you can just dial it down to a lower pressure, you don't have to necessarily get, like a watchmaker's compressor, because they're really expensive.
Okay.
Hey, when do you want to keep going?
I don't know.
Well,
Is it gonna go on for like 6 hours?
Well, why don't we pick like 3 more comments?
Fine.
Okay, 3 more comments from here.
From Neil Singh Gupta. I will miss your old time grapher.
I have it saved for you. No. I saw that comment. I have it saved. If you want it, I'll give it to you. It still works, and and I'll send it off to you, and you'll have a guaranteed, genuine, prop from the KVW show.
From Super Cruise, curious about your rock tumbler. Did you buy a barrel type or a vibrating type tumbler? What grit did you use to get the frosted finish? We have the barrel type. I want to get a vibrating one. I wonder what that would do to anything watch related.
Well, it would, if you're telling me that it polishes the outside without removing, I don't know what it would do to metal. I don't know. I mean, but if it, I don't know, actually. We want to get one of those vibrating ones, because we have a lot of rocks that are really cool, but we don't want to tumble them because their really cool features would be erased if we did. We have 2 tumblers. First one we got was a 4.5 size, 4.5 or 3. It's the National Geographic rock
It's
tumbler.
the little hobby one you can get on Amazon.
But it's good quality, man. We've had it, and it's been running 24/7 for how long?
Since Christmas.
Since last Christmas. I'm not joking. Literally 24/7 since last Christmas, and it's doing fine. The other one we have is a
Lortone.
Oh, it's a Lortone QT.
It's a 15-pound one.
It's like QT12, actually. I think it's the 12-pound one, because we got 10 pounds into that one. But that's the big solid. It's really good quality. What is it? Lortone?
Lortone, something like that.
Lortone, really good quality. People swear by it. There were some other models that people used to say, oh yeah, this is the model to get. Apparently the ones that were the top have been sold out, or people are cheaping out on them. So people spring for a Lortone. What?
Okay, and what grit did you use?
That was grinding grit. I think it was 80 grit.
I'm trying to look for something different.
Aren't we all looking for something just a little bit different? Nah, I don't think so. Somebody said, oh, it was in Terry Pratchett. He said, what most people want is for today to be pretty much like yesterday and pretty much like tomorrow. That's all people want. They just want to get through life.
Okay, so from Lifeboat...
And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm the same way.
From Lifeboat 52, this is about the rock tumbler again, since we're on that path. Thanks for sharing your experiment. I've had excellent results with a vibrator tumbler and ceramic media. Different grits give different finishes. I have an untested theory that the resulting finish is also surface peened and thus more scratch resistant. So there.
So you use ceramic media. We have it because it comes in the polyplastics kit. They look like, well, actually they look like vitamins, sort of pinkish vitamins that you take. But what are they for specifically? Are they for polishing? Because the thing on the jar says for polishing jewelry or precious stones, or maybe they're tongue-in-cheek, your precious stones. If you could write and tell me about that, I would be very grateful, because I've been very curious. We've been having, not problems, but it's been a challenge for us to get rocks to where they're really, really, really bright mirror shine.
Yeah, the square foam things that came with the National Geographic kit, they work really well.
Yeah, they're these little plastic dice, like if you took julienne carrots, but you did it out of black foam instead. And those with water, and they do pretty well. They really do, and they're reusable. You just got to make sure they get dried out in between each use. But I don't know.
What vibrating tumbler do you use?
Yeah. We need to know that too. What vibrating tumbler do you need? Oh, honey, we got the kid coming over. There might be a ball in the backyard.
Seriously?
I don't know. Well, maybe I'm wrong.
Oh,
is he coming up this way? No, he walked by. I'm wrong.
Whoa.
What the heck was that? What kind of scooter was that? Man, they were flying.
I don't know.
Boy, cars are ugly these days. Oh, speaking of ugly cars, we have decided, we've come to a mutual decision that there is a target collector vehicle that we would like to pick up, and that would be a Pontiac Aztec, specifically in Aztec yellow, with all of the camping accessories, including the tent and the cooler, and there's one other thing that comes with it. But here's the crazy thing about Aztecs. We have a guy that comes up and he delivers like pet food or something for us. And his running around vehicle is a beat to death, faded gold Aztec. In fact, it's probably the same color as Walter White's. And so I always talk to him about it. I'm like, hey man, that thing's going to be collectible because you don't see him much anymore. And then he laughed. I've talked to him a couple times about it. I went inside and looked at the computer and looked online. Cars.com, Facebook, there are 5 nationally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Aztecs in the entire country. eBay has 330,000 Aztec items, not a single vehicle, not one. I swear to you, because the Aztec has a presence in pop culture because of Breaking Bad. Also, people, dunk on it and meme about it because it's considered second only to the PT Cruiser for ridiculous ugliness. There's something about them, and especially you look at that yellow, that sporty yellow color. It works. It works. The weird kind of like I'm driving kids to the soccer practice colors. They're really boring, and it clashes with the sort of odd angularity of the thing. But that bright yellow, all of a sudden, it makes sense. I can't even explain it. It works fine.
Yeah, and he was looking at the front, and if you cover up the top headlights, it looks like a Pontiac. You cover the bottom headlights, it looks like a Neon.
It's true. I could never figure out. I was like, what the hell is up with the front end? But you go get a picture of a Aztec from the front, and you cover over. It's got like 2 sets of headlights because it's got the front end from regular Pontiac. You cover the top part of the hood. All of a sudden, it's just a Pontiac. But you cover the bottom, and it literally looks like they cut the top off of a Neon hood and riveted it to the top of the Aztec. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I don't understand. I kind of understand it, but
no.
It's a really strange choice. But that's what I'm looking for. If anybody has a lead on, it's got to be good condition. Like I don't want to do any restoration.
Well, and in the United States.
Yeah, why would anybody want to export them?
I don't know. Maybe somebody in Canada has one. I don't feel like paying.
Well, they were made in Mexico, but you're like you're Pontiac, and you show up at the front door of another country and be like, "I got these things, man. They're Pontiac, the Aztecs." And they'd be like, "I'm fine. I'm trying to cut down." And so, and they're stuck with all these Aztecs. Like, we love these things. The Aztec is the modern Edsel.
I don't know what that is. Well, I know it's a car.
Yeah, it was a Ford model that came out in 1958 with the big horseshoe grill, and people it used to be a meme. Everybody's forgotten now because the Edsel was just a joke because it was just considered so weird and ugly with its horse collar grill. But then they became memed into, hey, whatever happened to those, and then people started collecting and showing them.
Ridiculous!
They are ridiculous.
Oh my god!
But
look at that thing!
Oh, that's fantastic! Oh my god!
Right, is that? I'm seeing if it's literally the car. It's not because of the fuzziness around the edge. I thought it might have been a drawing.
No, actually, I wish I could see that.
Oh.
Oops! Somehow we went to eBay. Okay, that's freaking bananas. That's bananas. Oh, I'd love it. I'd drive it everywhere. I would. I didn't even know this existed. So it's an Edsel station wagon in 3-tone, coral pink, white on the fins, and on the side, it's a Woody. Oh my God, I'd drive it. You have absolutely no idea how much I would enjoy owning that car. My God.
So ugly.
But that's what's going to happen to the Aztec. Maybe it's not as prominent.
I just like that it's a camper thing.
I just think it's unusual and it's neat. But literally, eBay, there isn't a single one of them for sale. Not one. Facebook Marketplace, 5 nationwide. Cars.com, 5 nationwide. Some of them are the same as the Facebook. It's just like, you can find them, but they're really beat up. Some of them are wrecked. They're like $500, $800. The most expensive one that I found in the United States was $14,000, and it had 35,000 original miles. The next one was like, I think it was like $1,300 was the next most expensive one. Most of them were in like the 300, 400, 800 range. There was one that was for 200. Oh, there was a 2-for-1 deal, actually. No, it was 2-for-1. One was actually a really decent one in copper, right? And it looked great from the back. Guy said he had the title for it and everything. You go around the front, I don't know what it ran into, but it ran into something. And then he also has a white one, but the white one has no title. So I that's kind of a bad thing. But I think the both of them together was like $1,000. Maybe, probably actually even less.
So is the camper version different than if you just bought a regular one?
It's an option package.
Okay, so like
I think
we need to research it because I'm like, well, you could just get one in good condition and then get it repainted and.
I suppose I really have a thing about keeping cars in their original colors or taking. I'm doing it here because I'm taking off every piece of the old color. It will have never existed. I'm remanufacturing that car. That's what I'm doing.
You're supposed to do.
Right. So that's what I'm doing. But the point being, I don't like oversprays or resprays. It's something about it bothers me.
That's why you take it to the. That's what I was saying, to take it to the metal.
Oh, really? You'd want me to? You want me to do a full frame-off restoration on an Aztec?
Yes, kind of like how you have to take all the old stain off the deck, otherwise it won't look good. So you take the old paint off the car, and it's an Aztec, so it doesn't matter if you screw up.
You've forgotten one of the Klein mottos. Why get the right tool when the wrong tool might just work? You think that's a joke, but it isn't. So I'm really good at figuring how to do stuff like, unscrewing Allen head set screws with the tip of a pair of needle nose pliers. I've done it more than once. Okay. Well, that's it. I have a bunch of videos that I've made and just not put up. I have an MG video. I have a bunch of videos I want to make. For example, I have 4 62 MASs in the house right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's never happened before. Bought someone's collection, got some neat unrestored watches that I really want to talk about. We got a bunch of stuff and I'd like to talk about it. I have endless things I want to talk about, but the last month has really, really, really been kind of challenging. So, going forward though, it's going to be great. Okay, thank you so much for watching. We are done. And I will see you on the flip side. Oh, remember, they like your guitar.
Oh, thank you.
It's Funky Friday.
Yep.
You can't hear it, but we were listening to funk music. Mm-hmm. It's true. It's true. Casey and the Sunshine Band. Now, there you go. That or Parliament.
No, we were just listening to Parliament.
It was Parliament. Nothing wrong with Parliament. You know another good one we never listened to? Brothers Johnson.
I can do that afterwards.
Yeah, you go and look at you want to talk about super, super funk record cover? The one I saw, it was at a thrift store, God, a long time ago, 20 years ago. And it was like from right below, and they've got this whole thing with giant flared pants and things. So they look like these sort of bass playing kind of, incredibly large people. Okay, so it's fall, but it feels like summer. Mm-hmm. We haven't done mail call for a long time.
Not for any reason in particular.
Just every time Friday would roll around and we'd be like, "Grr." Yeah. So almost happened today, except we made time thanks to Sabrina. So the questions I had prepared are for this mail call, but there've been a lot of videos since then. So
yeah, sorry.
I will go back and I'll dig through those questions and we'll see. Oh, but first we should do